Hi and welcome. Today we're taking a look at Germany's top-tier premium tank with the highest battle rating. I'll break down its pros and cons, go over its armor protection, and share my thoughts on which premium vehicle is actually worth picking to grind through the German ground tree. Let's start with the tank's basic stats. It comes with a 1,500 horsepower engine, giving it a top speed of 68 kilometers per hour going forward and 31 kilometers per hour in reverse. In terms of mobility, it's pretty much on par with its younger brother, sitting at 10.7 BR. But there's one not-so-obvious detail that many players overlook. This beast weighs nearly 62 tons, and the very first thing you should do after buying it is head to the Modifications tab and remove the mine protection. You can also strip off the slat armor if you want, but that's optional. Doing this drops the tank's weight noticeably, makes it more responsive, and helps with acceleration. The slat armor can actually save you from a round or two, so keeping it is up to you. But the mine protection. In a game where mines basically don't exist, at least for now, you absolutely don't need it. The gun's vertical and horizontal traverse speeds are the same. With a stock crew, you're looking at 28 degrees per second. Upgrading to an expert crew raises that to 37 degrees per second, and once you reach ace level, you'll hit 40 degrees per second, one of the best traverse speeds you can get in the game. The reload speed on this tank isn't the best in the game, but it's still solid. With a stock crew, you're looking at 7.8 seconds. Once you upgrade to expert, it drops to 6.5 seconds. And with an ace crew, you get a flat 6-second reload. It's not as fast as the American tanks, but it's definitely quicker than most Soviet tanks you'll be facing, which gives you a solid edge in one-on-one duels thanks to the reload advantage. As for the shells, their max penetration is 583 millimeters, which is honestly pretty impressive. That's more than enough to deal with enemies at your BR or lower. But when you get upturned and face top-tier tanks, you'll still need to aim carefully for weak spots to secure kills. When it comes to the shells, I have to warn you, sometimes they behave terribly. You'll get ricochets in situations where it really shouldn't happen. Maybe in this particular clip I rushed the shot and should have aimed more carefully, but while recording footage for this review, I had another bizarre moment. I spotted an enemy helicopter hovering far from the battlefield. Laser rangefinder, shot. Ricochet. So yeah, be prepared. These shells tend to act way more unpredictably than those on most other tanks. As for the gun's elevation angles, they're actually really solid. -9 degrees of depression and +20 degrees of elevation. That means you'll have no problem playing from most meta positions, even on rough terrain. And thanks to the fast turret traverse, you'll also be able to punish any pilots who make the mistake of flying too close to your line of fire. I also have to mention that this tank comes with a great thermal sight. High resolution, easy on the eyes, and there's no need to constantly switch it off. For some players, that might be a big deal. Personally, I don't really care. A good thermal setup is a nice bonus, but not something I'd base my tank choice on. Before we dive into the armor of today's guest, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Your support means the world to me. I really appreciate everyone who watches the channel, leaves comments, and shares their feedback and suggestions. Reading what you guys have to say always motivates me to keep improving the content. And a special shout out to the absolute legends who hit that join button and support the channel. You guys keep this whole thing going. Thank you so much. Now let's talk about the armor and its weak spots. I'm not sure if I still need to repeat this every time, but with every Leopard, you have to follow the 16-21 rule. Here's how it works. If you're playing on urban maps or flat terrain, take 16 rounds. If you're heading into large open maps or planning to hull down behind cover, take 21. Just to remind you, when you take 16 rounds, one goes straight into the breach and the other 15 are stored safely in the turret. But when you take 21, those extra 5 shells are stored down in the hull next to the driver, which is usually well hidden when you're playing hull down. That way, you drastically reduce the chance of getting ammo racked from a lower front hit. The best shot you can take against this tank is straight into the gun barrel. I'm not joking, guys. It might be a bug or just some messed up damage model, but this Leopard takes massive damage from barrel hits and often dies in a single shot. I've tested this with a bunch of other tanks, trying to find something similar, but no luck. For some reason, hitting the barrel on this thing creates an absurd amount of spall, and the crew just gets instantly deleted. I've played pretty much every tank at BR 10.0 and up, and while getting one shot from a barrel hit is rare for most, with this Leopard it happens way too often to be a coincidence. You should also keep in mind that on top of the turret you've got both the commander's and gunner's optics. Hits to these spots rarely one-shot the tank, but they can knock out both the commander and the gunner, which is basically a death sentence in the middle of a fight. Right behind the optics sits the hydraulic pump, and if that gets damaged, your turret rotation slows down a lot. So even if the tank survives the hit, you're pretty much a sitting duck until repairs kick in. The only part of the tank that can reliably absorb incoming fire is the section of the turret that doesn't have any optics on it. That's exactly why, after taking a shot and pulling out of cover, you should always angle that part of the turret toward the enemy. If they return fire, chances are their round will hit the most protected area, giving you a much better shot at surviving the engagement. A shot into the breach with a shell that has over 500 millimeters of penetration can also one-shot this tank. That's because it destroys the armor plate meant to protect the crew from the ammo stored in the turret. Once that's gone, any detonation is game over. As for the hull, things are even worse. A hit to the part of the hull where the crew sits usually results in either a one-shot or losing 2 crew members instantly. And after the recent patch that nerfed Leopards by introducing a new module responsible for turret rotation, any hull shot, no matter the angle, almost always disables your turret drive. So even if you survive the hit, returning fire won't be an option. That's why your hull should always stay behind cover, no exceptions. As you've probably figured out by now, this tank has catastrophic armor issues, and unlike its younger brother at 10.7, it doesn't have that random survivability factor. I'll drop a screenshot showing my personal stats with this tank and its Leopard clones at 10.7. Maybe it'll help you decide which one is actually worth buying. The thing is, while editing this video, I realized that comparing 2 premium tanks properly means also talking about the rest of the lineup, other nations, and the kinds of enemies you'll be facing. All of that would seriously increase the video length, so if you're interested in a full breakdown on which Leopard Premium is better, let me know in the comments and I'll make a dedicated video on it. As for the tank in this review, it's not a bad pick, and you can make it work. But you'll need to play way more carefully than with other vehicles. That's it from me. I'll see you in the comments. Thanks for watching and take care.